educational experience for our student athletes, and unfortunately, we came out on the wrong end of it.
What do you think they learned? Your student athletes.
Today was a day about service and giving. We participated several years ago with When We All Vote. We were the first sports team to connect with When We All Vote, and in doing so, we started talking about our civic responsibility and the history of like a John Lewis and the things that he had to do, things Dr. King. We had When We All Vote here today, and the game was televised or simulcast on their website. So we talked about finishing that project that we started 2 years ago, and we talked about Dr. King. So we typically have a 5-minute discussion daily about either a thought of a day or a quote of a day, and we try to digest that and ask what that means and how that relates to us as a programming team.
Coach, everybody been hitting me up, all the HBCU people saying, they were really proud of the effort and that kind of talk about what this game means, Martin Luther King Jr. Classic, HBCU hosting Notre Dame, and on a national audience on Fox.
Yeah, it's I've been hearing the word historic thrown around this game, and it is historic. I just want to give my big brother and the guy who's been a little bit of a father figure, a lot of credit, because 99% of the Power 5 universities probably will not come in here and play us at Burr Gymnasium on the campus of Howard University for this game. And the courage and I think the heart to bring his team in here to do that says a lot about who he is as a man, but we also look at this game as, again, an educational experience.
You get back-to-back games, Norfolk State conference game, real tough game, this game here. What do you take from this game as you prepare for the rest of the conference season and the tournament?
For us, it's an opportunity to really, I think, grow. There's a couple ways that you can look at things as you're competing. You can take a step back, maybe stay the same, or you can take a step forward. And I thought today we really did a great job of taking a step forward. I know the outcome isn't what we wanted, but in terms of competing for 40 minutes, our guys did that. In terms of playing the right way, our guys did that. Some of the areas that we weren't as sharp in, maybe the Norfolk State game with maybe turnovers, and then some shot selections, we did those things today. We had, I want to say, 10 turnovers and 15 assists. So if we can compete and play that way where we're having, we had more shot attempts this game in Notre Dame. They shot a higher percentage, but, so those things in terms of steals, block shots, getting deflections, playing with that type of energy, those are things that we took a step forward with, and I hope we can continue to take those steps forward as we move forward.
My last question. As I'm watching the game back and forth, it was like a mirror. There's things they were running, things you were running, and I'm sure Rod, his coaches there and stuff. But it was real interesting to see just the matchups like that as you ran stuff and that kind of thing like that. You want to talk a little bit about Coach Rod and what he's meant, coming from Notre Dame and helping the program?
Well, I mean, it's also, we all have the same DNA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. DeMatha. Yeah.
Coach Brey's a DeMatha grad.
Right.
I'm a DeMatha grad. Rod's a DeMatha guy and grad. We all started with Coach Wooten. In terms of my relationship moving forward, Coach Brey came back and recruited me. So I spent 5 years with him at Duke. I spent 3 years with him at the University of Delaware. Rod spent 21 years. We're family, man. And a lot of the things that we do, we teach, are things that we believe in as a program. So it's going to be very similar. I mean, I always say if it's us, Harvard, Duke, Notre Dame, probably our players can jump right in any of those practices, and with the terminology, the philosophy, step right in and don't miss a beat. But that's, those things are things we believe in. It's been great to have Rod here. He's a man. He's got 25 years in the business, and he's a calming effect on me. Because, there's a certain amount of energy and effort that it's going to take for us to climb from where this program was when I took over to get it to where we want to go. And, you know, my energy has to be in a way where it's high and I'm pushing. And he does a good job of just keeping me calm and pulling me back every once in a while.
I lied, I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
So when you first signed Steve Settle III, you had a conversation with me. You said people not looking at me. He went from a guard to a big guard. You said, but he's redshirting and he's going to grow and people are going to start paying attention. Talk about his game today in terms of his ability and what he adds to the team.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Steve. Firstly, as a student, he's a 3.0 student in the business school. He's a DeMatha guy, so I'm always going to give props to my DeMatha guys. And he comes from a great, you know, two great parents with Big Steve and Kayla, his mom. You know, and he has an amazing family. And I think, you know, not saying that you have to have a perfect household to be a terrific kid, but that's his foundation, his family. And that's really important to him, and I think that's something that has been able to keep him grounded. You know, Steve is a kid that, you know, I don't think anybody wanted to take and people gave up on or didn't give him an opportunity to. And, you know, in building a program, and I always say this, I was the second to last Division I head coach hired. You know, Howard wanted student athletes, so it wasn't like I can go and enter the transfer portal and, you know, bring a whole new team in. So the way I looked at it is we have to take young men that are quality men, that are character men, and maybe have potential, and then make that potential into production. And to his credit, he's bought into everything that we've talked about since he's been here and we've been here. And I'm extremely proud of him. I think when Steve defends the way he did tonight, rebounds, gets steals, that his overall game shines even more. And, you know, he's done a great job of buying into wanting to become a more well-rounded player.
Coach, I love him. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, brother.
I tell you what, there's nobody in the MEAC that wants to see you in the Bronx.
Thank you.
The atmosphere in here, I'm sure maybe somebody asked before I got here asked it, but how happy were you to see a great atmosphere in a game like this?
You know, for us to only have a certain percentage of people that we can have at this game, I'm extremely grateful that we had an opportunity as a program and university to showcase who we are in front of so many people here, and then, you know, the nation as a television audience.
Sure. We were just talking to Coach Brey. Talking to Coach Brey, and he said that they're probably something you also alluded to. Not too many teams would want to come in here and play a team like Howard because of the challenge that this is. Do you think a game like this might lend to more contests like this in the future, where maybe a Power 5 school is coming to play at an HBCU?
I would love that to be the case, but you know, part of me was thinking, like, you know, I think probably the entrepreneur and the CEO part was like, damn, I wish we wouldn't have played so well. And I'm saying that very facetiously, but just, you know, it's going to be tough for a team to say, hey, a Power 5 team, I want to come in here and compete against you on that day, on that stage. You know, I would love, you know, for teams to want to be a part of this. And I always talk about it as an educational experience. For this particular weekend, teams should come in here. They should take their teams to the African American Museum. They should take their teams to the Martin Luther King Museum. They should come on our campus and experience what this history and tradition and culture is like, because a lot of their student athletes have never been in a place like this, and give them a more well-rounded perspective and a more well-rounded experience as a student. And if college coaches are looking at themselves as educators, then they will buy into that. If they're looking just at themselves as basketball coaches, then they'll never want to come in here and have this kind of experience for their students.
Obviously, there was a lot of excitement leading up to the game. I mean, it was on Fox. Obviously MLK Day, and the gym was packed. What were you telling your guys in preparation before the game in order to keep them excited but calm for it?
Honestly, nothing different than we normally say to our teams with every other opponent that we play. I can sense that they were ready to play. I could sense that they were actually calm. We probably had a little bit more anxiety playing against Norfolk State 2 days ago than we did today against Notre Dame. And I had a feeling that we, I can sense that we were going to play. I kept on saying we're going to play our asses off, and I knew we were going to do that. The next step now is how do we win these games?
Listening to you talk and listening to Coach Brey speak about you and talk about how you're an educator and how you guys have similar roots. I mean, talk about your relationship. Obviously, he said the same thing where you said you're like a father figure type of relationship. Talk about kind of him and you and your relationship and just what went in the game this game scheduled for a second year after last year ended up getting canceled again.
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry, man. I'm being serious. I love that dude. That's it. I wouldn't be here for him. So that's all, man. I love him. He's been one of the men that have been constant in my life since I've been 14. He has always been there for me in good or bad times. He's been consistent. He's been consistent the same. So.
That's it, Dylan.